current YouTube copyright restrictions make it difficult to pretty much near impossible for us to include audio clips of the songs discussed in this video. But if you are a patron supporter, you can watch a version of this video that includes the audio clips for all the songs discussed. Just go to the Patreon page, patreon.com/TJR, the original. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is TJR.
And this is Robert Kinsler.
And welcome back to the next segment of our top 100 songs of all time. And Robert, this time we're going to be counting down 56 through 60. Of course, if you've never watched one of these segments before, this list is a personal list. It is selected through stream of consciousness. We are not paying attention to historical significance or any of that. We're just simply whatever comes top of mind as we think about our next song is, that's the song we go with. We figure our intuition is the best guide when it comes to a personal list. Okay, so with that said, Robert, we'll start with your number 56.
All right, sounds good, TJ. Good to be back. So this is I'm going to kick it off with Gin Blossom's song Lost Horizons. Now, this is the first song off Gin Blossom's 1992 album, New Miserable Experience, and all the terrific elements of the Arizona Quintet are here. A great melodic song, bolstered by a sense of melancholy, textured guitar work, and a great lead vocal from Robin Wilson. You know, there's other great songs on that album. It was a big album for the band. I mean, Hey Jealousy, obviously. Found Out About You, Until I Fall Away, and also Allison Road. But I always come back to Lost Horizons. This song is just magic for me.
You know, I've heard of this album, but I've never listened to it. And I remember the song Hey Jealousy, of course, when that was on the radio. This one I wasn't familiar with, so I gave it a little listen. Right from the get-go, the guitar interaction on this song has a bit of a Tom Petty flavor to it. I don't know if you've ever thought that or not. But that was kind of my.
I hadn't specifically, but the second you said it, I'm like, yeah, I could hear that.
Yeah, it's kind of got that sound. Nice song. I'm going to do my number 56 here, which is entitled Nausea by Beck. And I'll make no bones about this. If you got a killer guitar riff, you have pretty much won me over 75% of what you need to do to get me to dig your song and to say it's great. Now, Beck, interestingly enough, who's a favorite artist of mine, I have all his albums, he isn't always known for guitar riffs. That's not something he's really known for, but he really killed it with Nausea. And this is off his 2006 album, The Information is the title of it. That was the one where it came with a blank CD case, and there was a whole bunch of stickers inside the jewel case that you could pull out, and you'd arrange the cover in any way you wanted to do it. Great packaging. This is one of his most dance-inducing songs since his very first single, Loser.
You know, TJ, this is a very catchy song and a driving groove. You know, Beck has the ability to challenge his audiences, always, all while still delivering something that is infectious and listenable. A great pick. Now, for my number 57, I'm going to go with this from REM, and that's the first single off the band's fourth album, Life's Rich Pageant, which is the lush and shimmering Fall On Me. And, you know, the sound of the song really is kind of at odds with the environmental themed message, which is focused on acid rain. This is a timeless classic that moves me as much now as when I first heard it back in 1986.
Interesting that you should bring this one up. REM is a band that I feel like I need to explore further. And this is the only album that I have by them. And it's only because I inherited it from someone. I won't get into the story. I have listened to it a few times, and I think it's a pretty good album. And of course, I know this song that you're referring to. I was not aware of what its lyrical message was. I just heard this dark and mysterious song that had a dark and mysterious tone that I liked. But now that you've told me about this, I need to go back and listen to this one again and pay attention to the lyrics. And so my next pick, my number 57, is a weird one. But I something about really weird songs, they just kind of appeal to me. This will be the third time that I've named a song from the Police's Synchronicity album on this series here. And that song is Mother, which a lot of critics dismiss as a throwaway track. And I don't agree with that. Now, this particular track is composed by Andy Summers, and it features him doing these spoken word vocals. There's no real singing, it's just him doing spoken word. This is a really psychotic 3 minutes of archaic music with guitarist Andy Summers screaming maniacally about how every girl he goes out with turns out to be his mother in the end. And this song, every time I hear it, I just zone into the world, the mindset of the character in this song, who's just like insanely crazy. And I have to admit, if Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho were to come out today, if it was made today, that closing scene during the closing credits, I think it would have ended with this song. I think it would have been perfect for it. If that gives anybody, if you've never heard this song before, I hope that gives you some kind of an idea of what to expect.
Now, TJ, I have to be honest with you. This is not a song I would have put on my list, but I do, and I do honestly appreciate the art damage ferocity of Andy's vocals and the textured undercurrent of the instrumentation. There's a lot of interesting things about the song that I would recommend, and I concur with you. I hope everyone goes out and listens to it.
Well, thanks.
Now, jump into something entirely different. My number 58 selection is AC/DC's Thunderstruck. Now, when you think of great AC/DC albums, you usually think of 1979's Highway to Hell or 1980's Back in Black. Make no mistake, those are great albums. But for pure head-banging heaven, I'm going to highlight AC/DC's Thunderstruck off 1990's Razor's Edge. Although it was the band's 12th album, there's little evidence that the band was dialing it back when you hear this blistering track. And this song actually returned AC/DC to the popularity of the peak they had enjoyed in the late 1970s and early 1980s, too.
Yeah, I concur. Great track. You really can't go wrong with AC/DC. Great pick. And with that said, although I should say, it almost feels like you knew what I was going to pick next when you picked this one. And once I put our list together and I saw what you had, because my number 58 is Cross-Eyed Mary by Jethro Tull from the acclaimed album Aqualung. There's a lot of great Jethro Tull tracks, but Jethro Tull's always been an album band, in my opinion. You know, I listen to their albums as a whole, but this is a great singular track that you can listen to without the rest of the album and really appreciate. I think it's one of their best single tracks ever. There is, of course, the opening, which is this very mysterious, classical music influenced flute intro that Ian Anderson gives us, and that weird little melody. It's almost like it's luring you in. You're like, come check this out, and it in no way reveals the insane metal guitar riffs that will follow. Most of us in our generation, we are so familiar with this song, but try to imagine the first time hearing this song. There is no way that you could predict that this song would go into the direction that it did, hearing it the first time, hearing the piano introduction in the background with the flute solo, and then suddenly, that it would come into these insane guitar riffs. This is Jethro Tull at its heaviest, its most aggressive, and it's most metal. And it's no wonder that Iron Maiden remade this song.
I couldn't agree more, TJ. This is a great Renaissance rocker, and Ian's gritty vocals and powerful approach is definitely as close to heavy metal as I've ever heard by Jethro Tull. Great pick. Now, I'm going to jump ahead now. I can't believe we're already on track number 59.
Yeah.
This is a song that maybe not everyone will know, or a band everyone will know. The band is titled Indigenous, and the song is titled Rest of My Days. And this is a great blues song from the band's 2000 album, Circle. Now, Indigenous was an American blues rock group featuring, and I'm going to be real careful with these names. They're Native American and very difficult for me to pronounce. The group featured singer, lead guitar great, Mato Nanji, his brother bassist Pete, and his sister, and she's also the drummer, One Body. Now, the lead singer in particular is a riveting presence. His reflective vocals and terrific guitar work, which recalls a mix of Stevie Ray Vaughan, Carlos Santana, and a bit of Jimi Hendrix, are really showcased in this mid-tempo blues rocker. Um, just so everyone knows, as way of background, the siblings are members of the Nakota Nation and grew up on South Dakota's Yankton Indian Reservation. Monto is also well known for anyone out there that has gone to see the Experience Hendrix tours since 2002. He's usually a part of that, but this to me is the band's greatest song.
I had not heard of this band before till you sent me your list. And so I pulled it up, listened to it, was not aware of the whole Native American Indian aspect of it at all. But when I played it, I just heard a really smooth acoustic vibe that was very, very appealing, really nice, and that's the great thing about music. I mean, it's good to know the background. I think and I'm not saying it's not good, but whatever the whole Native, none of that really was to me like anything that would have like struck out to me and say, oh, because I'm Mexican and I hear music that is culturally Hispanic, like like mariachi music or Tejano music,
Right.
and I'll hear it and it's like, okay, that is culturally Hispanic. But when I listen to this, I just heard really smooth. Just it could have been any. It could have been any nationality. What I was listening to, and it was really inviting. I really did enjoy that track. It's the first time I ever heard of them. So thanks for introducing me.
Yeah, no, they're a great band. I probably would have never heard them. I happened to go to the Doheny Blues Festival one year, and they played, and they knocked me out. And that song really struck a chord with me. And I went and got the album, and I've always come back to that song. So that's why it's on my list.
Okay. Well, here is my number 59 before we do the big 60. And my number 59 is Can't You Hear Me Knocking by the Rolling Stones off their legendary album, Sticky Fingers. This song has it all, starting with just the incredibly sick guitar riffing and interplay between Keith Richards and Mick Taylor. This song floats between heavy blues, hard rocks, sorry, not hard rocks, hard rock, and thanks to its insane instrumental break, there are even elements of jazz in this particular track. And the instrumental break featuring saxophonist Bobby Keys and guitarist Mick Taylor on this track is absolutely out of this world. This starts out as a cool, heavy rock jam, but its instrumental closing just puts me in another world.
TJ, this is the Rolling Stones at their peak. The fact that the track was recorded in one take just shows you how amazing the Stones were in 1971, and they truly were firing in all cylinders. People think of them as a 60s band because that's when they were launched, but really the band had their strongest groove, I think, around this time. In addition to and you said Key's great sax work and Mick Taylor's lengthy, glorious solo, people might not know it. That's Billy Preston on the organ. This is just, like you said, this song has it all.
Yeah, and the thing is, thank you for bringing that up, because initially I didn't think about that when I was writing my notes on this, so I'm really appreciate that you brought that up. And thank you very much. So without further ado, Robert, go ahead and do the honors. Number 60. Here we go.
Okay, number 60. And I believe this is memory. I think that this is a song that you introduced me to back when we were doing Music Worth Buying. I was trying to remember.
I did.
But this is the band Vintage Trouble, and this is their great song that kind of introduced them to the world, and it's called Blues Hand Me Down. And this song is a perfect fusion of rock and soul. And I can't believe it. It came out back in 2011, and it was off their debut album titled The Bomb Shelter Sessions. There is a retro sound to the track, but the unbridled energy defies time, to be sure. Ty Taylor, Nally Colt, Rick Barrio Dill, and Richard Danielson are one of the greatest live acts I've ever seen, and I think you probably agree with me, DJ. And this song captures that incredible energy and musical synergy that they do live, this maybe is the crowning achievement in terms of capturing what makes them so special when you see them in concert.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing this one up. This is a great track, a great introductory track. You listen to it and you know what this band is about. A great combination of heavy British blues rock and American soul. And now I'm going to give my number 60, and we're going to close the show here. My number 60 is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And of course, this is from the album of the same name. As I was approaching the end of this segment of the list, it occurred to me that I had yet to include a Pink Floyd track. And it's hard to do that for this type of a show, not because their songs aren't good, but because within their very best and most popular albums, their individual tracks usually serve as part of the larger conceptual whole that make up the albums. And but this one here is one where you can just take the tracks separately, and it can be this separate entity outside of the whole, and it does that very well. Wish You Were Here opens with the sound of what our generation will remember as radio station surfing, surfing the dial, before it lands on the album's title track. And at first we hear it as if it's being played on a small transistor radio before it explodes into full audio quality. It's as if we are first hearing a distant memory, and then suddenly it all comes rushing back in full vivid glory. This is such a sad and emotional song filled with remorse and regret. And I'm deeply moved every time I hear it.
Yeah. God, I mean, TJ, I'm so glad you brought this song up today because it is such a great song. I always respond to it emotionally too when I hear the song. It's a complete masterpiece, and I just love David Gilmour's kind of plaintive vocals, the way he delivers it. And of course, me personally, this song makes you think about the loss of some loved ones in your own life, whether they're good friends we've had or family members, and just a very poignant and powerful song, and it deserves to be on the list.
Yeah. This song, of course, it's generally assumed that it's regarding Syd Barrett. But the great thing about how well it's written is that you can apply it to your own personal experience, which we do, which you have done, yeah. I have done. I understand its history, but I can apply it to my own personal experience. Yeah. And in the same way that the album Wish You Were Here is a masterpiece, the song Wish You Were Here is a separate little masterpiece within it. And that's why it's sometimes hard to do that with Pink Floyd, because their albums, all the songs make up a greater whole. But here we've got a track that I can separate out and say, this just by itself, I hope I made that clear when in regards to that. But at any rate, though, so there we go. That is our numbers 56 through 60. So the next time we get together, it's going to be songs number 61 through 65. And I'll look forward to checking out what your picks are, and hope you'll appreciate mine.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's always fun to do this.
Cool. Everybody, let us know what you think. And please, as you've been doing in the past, share with us your number 56 through 60 so we can all check it out and share with each other. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. If you'd like to give us just a little bit of extra support, there is a super thanks button. Just click that. And also, if you'd like to become a patron supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available here on the channel. And also, they get their names in the credits. And so, Robert, thanks so much for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.